Start with a prayer, close your eyes, palms together. Seek the blessing from Himalaya Guru, God and Goddesses. So when you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay. There are today's class also we have the 3 parts. First, we are going to see the Gocharam, then our lesson, then we are going through the horoscope analysis. There are 3 parts involved today. So let's go with the Gocharam. So today is a very wonderful day. All grahas, most of the grahas are in the 9th house from the Lagna. Today's Lagna is the Kadaka Lagna. So in that case, whenever you are seeing the Gocharam, we are moving one step forward, right? Last week we saw about from the Gocharam how we can see about the aspects of the Guru and the Sani aspects, right? Today we are going to see the Rahu and the Ketu. These 4 are the yearly planets. So whenever we see the Gocharam, we have to concentrate on these. Why we have to give that much importance? Because that is going to give you larger impact for a number of days for year at least. For Rahu and Ketu, it was 1.5 years. Guru 1 year, and the Shani will be 2.5 years. So in that case, we have to give such an importance to the yearly grahas. Okay, let's see about what are the grahas in the Gocharam. Guru in the Rishabha, Chandra and the Mangal in the Kadaka Rasi, Ketu in the Kanya, and Surya, Shani, Buddha, Rahu and the Shukran in the Meena Rasi. Okay, today we'll come back to this Gocharam with another idea. Let's move into the Pancham. Today's Tithi is the Navami, followed by the Dashami. Okay. Let's move forward in the Panchang also. Whenever how we move forward from the Gocharam reading, we move forward in the Panchangam also. So let's have a homework of one. Everybody knows which Tithi you are born on. What is the Tithi? Tithi is the distance between.
Yes.
Everybody knows, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in the planetary motion in the universe, what is the distance between the sun and the moon? That determines your Tithi. See, the sun and the moon distance may be the 1 day, sun and moon distance between the 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, or it is 15 days. Then the most Purnami will come. Again, it will reduce to 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, like that. So the moon and the sun and the moon difference is the Tithi. Distance difference is the Tithi. So whenever you finding about a Tithi, you have to be concentrate on one more thing also. It was the Valarparai Tithi or the Teipirai Tithi. That means
waxing moon or
waning moon. So in that case, you have to find out which have an example. Krishna Paksha or Shukla Paksha. This is the word I forgot. Okay. Let's see about, I'm going to chat the Jagannath Forum. Give me a second. Everybody can see the Jagannath Forum, right? Yes?
Yes. Vanita?
Yes, we can.
Vanita? What happened? I'm asking a bit awkward question. What happened on this day? All these days, I used to tell me to mark where is the moon on the Jataka, this Rashi chart or Gochara. I used to have astro stage. I have got that. In that, I used to remove. Now I've forgotten how to see Gochara or Rashi chart. How to take out from astro stage? How to take out that? How to get the link for that? Earlier I was doing, but I've forgotten now.
The Astro Sage website link.
I got link in that Rashi chart, Gochara chart. Nowhere it is there.
No. In the Gochara is okay. Don't get okay. Wait, we'll come back to your point. Give me only 1 minute. I will come back to your point. Okay. This is the horoscope of Satish. When we see the Tithi, it's mentioned as the Krishna Tritiya. Krishna means it was it's a Teibere Chandra. That means the moon is it's in the decreasing phase. So that is the Krishna. They call it as Krishna Paksha. Paksha is the 15 days of the duration. Shukla Paksha is the growing phase. That is the towards the Paurnami. The Krishna towards the Amavasya. So that means he born on the Krishna Tritiya Tithi. Okay. So this you have to remember. Then you may ask, why we need to understand this? So when we born on this universe, the 5 element principles works in a greater ways. So the Panchangam we have to be understood in a greater detail. So first thing we have to remember, let's go step by step on this. And remember in your horoscope, find out which Tithi you born on, like how we found out Tritiya Tithi. And is that a Krishna Paksha or the Shukla Paksha? This is very important. You may ask also why we need to understand these difference. We will know about that in a greater detail in a later classes. Okay. So the first thing you have to find out which Tithi you born on, and is that the Krishna Paksha or the Shukla Paksha. This is more than enough for now. Okay. Now come back to the question about the Gocharam in the Astro Sage. Second. Okay. The daily planetary Gocharam is nothing but today's planetary position. The birth
that is there. How to take out the chart? How to
you mentioned in the Astro Sage also. You mentioned the today's date. Today's date, whatever the time you want. Consider you want to find out the today's date, 6/4/2025 at the time of 2:38 p.m. So you mention the date and time. You will find out the today's chart. So Gocharam is nothing today.
Okay. Today chart. We have to put the date and fill up the data. We have to give. Okay. Thank you.
The Gocharam is the word which gives you the number of lines of definition. So what is the meaning of Gocharam? It gives you the today's planetary position. That's it. The word maybe looks like intimidating, but that is nothing but today's, this is the planetary position. See, when even if you are born at 54 years, 64 years born, that is the moment when you're born, your birth chart was generated, right? That is the snapshot. So every minute, every moment, the planetary position we consider as today's position is a daily planetary position that is called the Gocharam. Okay. Don't get too much confused. Daily chart
One more question. One more question, sorry, just a general. What happened only whenever we see any, they predicted the horoscope in the TV and all, they say Simha Lagna, Simha Rashi, Kanya Rashi, Kanya Rashi. But actually it is different, no? Suppose mine is Simha Rashi, my Lagna is Simha Lagna, is my Simha Lagna, Rashi is Kanya. Which you have to refer? Whether they are telling for this, the prediction is for Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna, means what it is. Simha Lagna, Simha Rashi means is it particular to me or it is.
I will tell you both. Okay. The general prediction, they give the disclaimer, it's a general. So obviously, if they mention 10 points, at least only one will match for you, other 9 may not match for you. That is the general prediction theory. Okay. Let's come back into the Rashi and the Lagna. When it mentioned there is a Simha Rashi, Simha Lagna means Rashi is okay. When you in your horoscope, which based on which graha the Rashi was determined.
For example, mine is Ragna is Simha Lagna, Rashi is Kanya. Moon is in Kanya.
So wait a second. In Kanya, what is the graha present in it?
Oh, I have to see. No, I don't know. Okay, madam. I have to see. Okay.
No, give me a second. See, if this is, let's consider today, where you go into your Lagna itself. This is a Simha Lagna. And in the Kanya, you said Kanya Rashi is my Rashi. You already said that. So, based on which graha, if the moon was present here, then you will told that is my Rashi, correct? So that is a determination of the Rashi. So now coming back to your question, when the moon and the Lagna, what is the difference? Moon determines your mind. So what kind of the emotion you are going through, that exactly match with your moon. Okay, what is the Lagna? Your actions, whatever the thing which we are going to do, that defines in the lagna. So that's why when the peoples are give the prediction about the lagna and the rashi, it will match both of them. It's a kind of the body and the soul thing, a body and the mind thing. It might moon match with the mind, kind of all kind of the emotions you go through in your life. And the lagna represents what kind of the actions you are going to involve in it, or what kind of the actions you are planning to take. That all in the lagna. Is that clear?
Okay. Only what they are telling Simrashi, Sim Lagna, but mine why Sim Lagna, Simrashi. But suppose a person is Lagna, how to collaborate that? That I got it.
That's a difference. The Rashi and the Lagna, both the things will do the when they give the predictions, right? 5 points they will match with the mind related. 5 points they will match with the actions
Lagna.
related.
I
So,
see.
for example, they will say you will be very happy on this period. Then you will say, then they will also say you will buy the home and you will buy the car. You will go to the vacation to the foreign land. So this kind of an action also they will say, and other things they will they look into the very keen into the predictions. You can easily segregate this. Okay, they are in among the 10 points. They are giving the 3 things about the emotion, remaining things about the actions. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nice.
Vanita, if both Rashi and Lagna are Simha Lagna, predictions might match more than probably 90% or something. Is that a possibility?
Yeah. Possibility is really high because mostly there is also one more theory involved here. The Rashi is the thing which is going to happen immediately. It may be happen in a month, it may be happen in a week, it may be happen in a 2.5 days. It may be happening in 2 months of the time, 2.5 months of the time. But if they give the based on the Lagna predictions, it may be for a long time. You may think like that. The short and the long. Then the questions will come. Why? Because when the Chandra was involved in it, if they give any prediction based on the Chandra, the period may not be too long. The period must be very short time. The period must be in a very immediate time. So if they are giving the prediction based on the Lagna means the whole the Jataka itself. So his entire lifetime, it can be for the next 20 years. It can be for the next 40 years.
Okay, yeah, got it. Thank you so much.
Come back to here. So everyone at this point, we have to be remember about your Tithi. Remember, the Shukla Paksha or the Krishna Paksha. Okay. This is very much important when we are going to move forward into the Panchang. Okay. We'll learn more thing about the Tithi in the next week. At this moment, this is more than enough. Okay. Yogam Shukarma followed by the Tritiya. In my question. Nakshatra is the Pushya, followed Karana, full night is the Pushya, Karana is the Balava, Gaulava, and Taitala. Weekday is the Ravivara, Paksha is the Shukla Paksha. Okay, let's move into the Ragapetu aspects. Now we are a little bit moving forward into the understanding of the Gocharam. Last week we understand about the Guru and the Shani aspects. Now we are going to understand the Ragu and the Ketu. Okay. At this moment, we can understand the Ragu and Ketu in a different way. For example, let's have an example about the Ragu and the Ketu. Ragu will mostly, it will destroy your relationship, it will destroy your health, it will destroy, but it will give you the thing which, it will give you more materialistic. If you want to acquire a business, if you want to acquire an asset, it will give you an extra than whatever you are expected. Okay. So in simple words, Raga will destroy your health, destroy your relationship, but it will benefit you in the materialistic way. Okay. So regarding to the material life, the Ragu is the best one. When we see about the Ketu, for the relationship, it will give you so many obstacles, so many struggles in the relationship itself. So that is also bad. When it comes into your health, it may give you different kind of a disease to your body. That is also bad. When it comes back into the materialistic life, when you try to earn, when you try to be acquire something, when you buy something, it will give you, it will directly put the obstacles in front of you. So the Ketu is not good for anything. Like I should not say that. Rahu will give everything, put at least one obstacle in front of you. It won't let you to acquire that kind of an benefit, kind of an happiness that much easily. Okay. Okay. So Rahu somewhat good, but when comparatively with Ketu will stop you with everything. Even if you go for a relationship, it makes you to break up the relationship. When you getting into if your health was really good, but when the time was coming, your health will be deteriorating slowly and slowly. When you try to be acquire something, it won't let you to do that. Okay. Then you may ask why that until now you didn't say anything bad about the Ragu and Ketu. Why now? Okay, it's not about the bad and the good. Remember, it's all about the energy. The Ragu's energy is just like that. It wasn't a very vibrant, forceful energy. That's why the peoples around them may not be. Ragu's energy was double the power of the Mars. So if that kind of the person was living, any relationship can accommodate with them. It's really impossible. But that kind of the forceful energy will be really helpful to acquire the materialistic wealth. If they plan to do anything materialistic in this materialistic world, they are the very great persons. They are the very good persons. They are the very suitable persons for them. When come back to the Ketu in a totally different way. The Ketu it's a kind of the wisdomful energy, and above the Guru, like firstly it was think like a sadhu. Why we need this? Why we need to acquire this? I need a wealth to live my life. I need a relationship to live my life. Why I need all this kind of the suffering in my life? So the mind, the kind of the wisdom acquired by that person give the obstacles in front of it. None of the people give the obstacles to me, because that kind of the accumulated wisdom inside him or herself that put the obstacle in front of her, front of him. So that's why the Ketu is kind of not, when you see the good or the bad, we can take it as the energy level, may not good, may not bad. Okay. So with that understanding, let's see about the Ragu and Ketu aspects 3, 7, 11. So in that case, now we'll see about the Ragu. Ragu, now it was in the Meena Rasi, so it will aspect the Rishabha Rasi, it will aspect the Makara Rasi here, and also the Kanya Rasi. Now let's see about the Ketu. Ketu aspect the Meena Rasi. Ketu aspect the Kadaka Rasi. Ketu aspect the Vrukshika Rasi. Okay, with that understanding, let's move forward into the Kocharam with your birth chart. So this is again the birth chart for the Satish. Okay, now let's see about this. So for them, there are the, whenever you, I already told you, whenever you see the chart, you put the eyes into the, firstly, you move your eyes towards the graha, which is more into, the number of the grahas more present in the Rashi. The number of the grahas present in one Rashi, your eyes have to be fixed in that at least for a minute. So for this, the Meena Rashi, for Satish, it was the 10th house. 10th house, the Jataka didn't have any graha in it. So when there was a graha, in the Gochara graha was, number of grahas was moving, but in the birth chart there was no graha present in it. So you are so lucky. There is no direct impact on you. So this is really good. This is really good. So that means there was no combination was happening here. At this moment, there is no combination was happening here. Imagine a situation. He may have, suppose the mother Jataka was having a graha in it. So that is the moment the graha combination will happen. So here, imagine, here the Buddha was here. Okay, let's have the Buddha. So that means the Buddha over Buddha, Rahu over Buddha, Surya over Buddha, Sunny over Buddha, Shukra over Buddha. That means then 5 planets over the Buddha in your Rashi. So at this moment, the Satish didn't have any Satish didn't have any graha in it, so we don't want to worry about it. So then you may ask the question, so in case the graha was present in it, how we can dig that? Okay, this is the very best day. If any people who is having the graha here, then they have to analyze themselves, and even if it was the very small moment happening in their life, any small emotions changing in their life, make a note of it. That is the best day to discover when the grahas was combining, because this kind of the day may not happen in number of years. This is the best day we are living in, because the number of grahas was present in the Meena Rashi itself. This kind of the combination again will come, but it may take a decades, I guess. So if you have any grahas present in the Meena Rashi, this is the best day for you to analyze yourself. Okay, okay, then I'm not getting into the Meena Rashi things again. Let's moving into here. Okay. Now, Guru over the Rahu, because in the Rahu was in the 12th house for the Janana Jatakam. The Guru, sorry, the Guru was in the Rishabha. Guru was in the Rishabha, so that means the Guru over the Rahu. So this combination one.
Can you mute the
Okay, let's move into here. So in the Mithuna Rasi there was nothing. In the Chandra and the Mangal was moving in the Kadaka Rasi, but the Janana Jatakam didn't have an Graha, so we don't have to worry about it. If there was no Graha present in it, move forward. Okay, there you need to consider that. But here in the 6th house, 3 Grahas present in it, but there was no Kocharam combination, so you can left out. 6, 7, 8, there was no Graha present in it, so move on. So there, in the 9th, the Kocharam Graha was there, but in the Janana Jatakam, there was no Graha present in it. Leave it, move on. 10, there was no Graha present in it. So there is, among this, there is a one combination which we found out was Guru over the Rahu. So this is the point that too, the Rahu was in the Varyadhipati. Rahu was in the 12th house. And wherever the Rahu and Ketu was sitting, it takes the ownership of the Rashi itself. It behaves that the owner of that house. Like the Rishabha, the Rahu was sitting in the Rishabha Rashi. Now the Rahu works like the Rishabha, works like the Venus, work like the Shukra. So but you should not consider the Guru over the Shukra. I'm just giving an example. The Rahu takes over the ownership of the Rashi. That's what I'm trying to say. But here, Guru over the Rahu. When the Guru over the Rahu, this combination kind of good, kind of bad. Let's be found out any recent happening with the Satish or not. There is anything interestingly happening over this combination? Guru and the Rahu?
No, nothing, ma'am. I'm not sure.
Because when the auspicious planet is running over the inauspicious planet, that too, especially with the Guru, it won't give you any bad effects. So that much, this is the very, it may not say it is a good combination, but when the auspicious Graha is running over the inauspicious Graha, the impact is not that much bad. Okay. But we will see whenever we see the Kocharam in a different day. Okay, this reminds me one thing. When we learned the meditation, there was one important thing my teacher was told me that was stuck in my mind till all the day. There was in a meditation we have to practice, and somebody was having a question why we have to practice the same meditation again and again. Like when we are studying the first standard, we move into second standard, third standard. And I'm studying 12th standard, the graduations, like the improvement was going on. But in the meditation, why there was no, why we have to practice the same again and again? The teacher answer was like this. You do the meditation for the today's planetary position, and this is the cosmic state. This is the planetary position. On this day, you are. So you have one kind of an experience. Note down that the very next day, the planetary position have to be changed. Obviously, the Gocharam will change, right? When you are going to do the same meditation again, the experience will be entirely different, and it goes on again and again for the 365 days. And move forward into the next year, your experience will be entirely different. So that is an understanding. But when very first time when we heard that answer, I was not in a state of understanding this. But when the practice goes on, when you are experiencing the real thing, you will understand that. So this crossed my mind now because of the Kocharam, and we see that something will cross. Okay, let's move into the next one. This is about the Kocharam today. Any questions still here? We'll move into the class of the next part.
If Guru over Rahu and Shani combination, even
Rahu
then,
is-
because of Guru's auspiciousness, nothing negative might happen, right?
It's when the Rahu was like a double force energy. When the Sunny was present, and it pulls you back. And when the Guru was giving you that kind of a good energy to him, it may becomes balance. It may not become. It may not the balance. If any of the other grahas was present, that energy was also involved. It may become vibrant or it may reduce this energy. It depends upon the Jatakam again.
Okay.
But remember, when an auspicious graha was over the inauspicious graha, it won't give you that much of the bad.
Got it. Yeah, thank you.
Let's go into the Saturn. Okay, Saturn, another name is the Saneshwara, Sanechara. Saturn is mainly for his judgmental nature. Saneshwaran is the only graha can make the justice for everybody, even for him, even for others. He's such a planet. So mainly when we remember the Saturn, you remember the Saturn as the organized structural discipline is the main thing. And this is the one side of the coin. The other side of the coin was like it's a lazy because it was slow in nature. It's a very hard worker. No one can match the work which is done by the Saturn. Okay, let's move into the more thing about the Saturns. Saturn's own house is the Makara and the Kumbha. In the Makara, there was one planet was exalted, that is Mars, depleted, that is Jupiter. In the Kumbha, there is no exaltation, debilitation. Sunny debilitated in the Mesha Rasi, that is in the 20 degree, and in the exalted in the Tula Rasi, that is again at 20 degree. When we know about the Mula Trikona, Sunny takes the Kumbha Rasi as its Mula Trikona between the 0 to 20 degree. Gender is it's a combination of the both as energy. The energy was balanced. Male and the female energy was totally balanced. Aspect 3, 7, 10, direction west, directional strength also west, malefic, absolutely malefic. Adi Devata, Pratyapati, Pratyadi Devata, Yama, elements Vayu, Dosha, Vata. Okay, a little bit more about the Saturn. Saturn, okay, one important thing. This is the one group of people, and this is another group of people. When we really hard to find how to remember the relationship between the grahas, remember this group that will help you in a different way. Okay, for the Saturn, Mercury and Venus are friend. For the neutral, Jupiter is the neutral, enemies are the Sun, Moon, and the Mars. Nakshatra, Pushya Nakshatra, Anuradha, Uttara Bhadrapada. Saturn is in 19 years of its Dasha period. Okay, Marana Karaka, first house. Combustion, when comes in, okay, mostly this is the it is written in the books, so 0 to 15 degree. Okay, but mainly when the people say, most of the astrologers will say, if it was the Saturn next to the Sun within the plus or minus 5 degree, it was considered as the complete conversion. Okay. Yoga Karaka for the Rishabha Lagna, for the Tula Lagna. Why? Because the Saturn was as the Trikona Rasi in the 9th as the Makara, 10th as the Kumbha for the Rishabha Lagna. For the Tula Lagna, Saturn again becomes the Yoga Karaka because 5th becomes the Kumbha, 4th becomes the Makara. Okay. Bhatakasthana, for the Mesha Lagna and the Rishabha Lagna, Saturn becomes the Bhatakasthana. 11th house is the Kumbha, 9th house is the Makara. We already know Mesha is the Chara Rasi, Rishabha is the Thira Rasi. For that, 11th house becomes the Kumbha, 9th house becomes the Makara. Okay. Now, the Makaraka Stotram. Neelanjana Samabhasham, Praviputram Yamagrajam, Chaya Martanda Sambodham, Tam Namami Sanecharam. When we try to invite the Sunny will come to the show, will come to wherever you invite. If there wasn't a sincerity, and you can invoke the Sunny in very different ways. If by the slogan, by the mantras, by lighting the lamps, or else if you invoke the Shani through your meditation and prayer. Okay. We already know about the Saturn in the first house. It's a really good, but that is again the Paranakaraka for the Saturn. Even it will give you a number of the struggle in your life. The career is really solid in nature, and these people are really mature. And the Saturn in the first house people were very organized, very disciplined, and structured in their professional life. And you have a question, what about the family life? They really struggle to balance the family life. For them, the work-life balance is really struggle for them. They believe the work is their life. The work is the breath for them. That kind of a person, when involved in the family, it was an additional burden for them, but even then they can manage. That is really good when the Saturn in the first house. Okay, now Saturn in the second house. It's again a good thing for the Saturn because the very good resource, these people are really resourceful, kind of the micromanagement in their business, and there is a higher possibility of the larger family. Okay. And these peoples are very same thing. The organized, discipline, structured in whichever the bhava we are referring. Now the Saturn which we are referring in the second bhava, so that becomes a family environment. Again, it's coming into the Dairyasthana, Saturn in the third house. Most favorable house for the Saturn. So they have become much more creative, much more communicative when the Saturn was in the third house. Now Saturn in the fourth house. They may encounter some kind of the tough childhood, but there is a higher possibility they may have the distance from their mother and the motherland. If they're living in their motherland or in any of the abroad, this kind of the situation may not occur in their life. And in one word, these peoples are very organized, again, discipline structured in the self-work and the health. Come back into the fifth, Saturn in the fifth house. You're really creative, very thinking, and they're creating. What is the difference between the other people? Saturn in the fifth house, people's creators and other people's. These people's, when their creativity based on the base work is they're organized, very much organized. They are very much disciplined in their work. If they plan to do work in this minute at this hour, they will be there at no matter what. No matter what happened in their life, they will be there to finish their work. Okay, let's come back to Saturn in the sixth house, most favorable. Sixth house, again for the well-organized, structured in the health and the depths and the competition. If any of the Jataka was trying to write a competitive exam, this is the best for them. They have the ability, they have the energy, they have the courage to do that. Okay. Now, Saturn in the seventh house. Okay. This is the Dikbala for the Jataka, Saturn in the seventh house. Very well organized in that particular bhava. So, whenever you see the graha in the bhava, you have to combine the both. Whatever the significance of the graha, you have to combine that with that bhava. So, the very organized, disciplined, structured person, structured energy was in the seventh house. Their higher education is good. They are really competent person. very strong and very active. Okay, now moving into the 8th sun. Okay, now let's start the class. This is all about the last week revision. It's moving into the sun in the 8th. Okay. Here the interesting things comes. Now, it's 8th house. Most anybody remember what is the 8th house means?
Transformation.
Transformation.
Longevity.
Longevity. Very good. Longevity.
In-laws.
In-laws.
Mystery.
What is it?
Mystery.
Mystery. Any other thing? Okay. Any kind of an accident, 8th house. Any kind of a surgery you are undergoing, 8th house. If there was a hidden knowledge in you or hidden treasure you are having, that is also anything hidden things that is belongs to the 8th house. The occult knowledge is the 8th house. So it's a kind of the secret the person can hold that is in the 8th house. That kind of the 8th house. Now the Saturn's energy was really disciplined, very well organized, and in another words, lazy also, hardworking also. That kind of the energy was sitting in the 8th house. How it will be? When the Saturn was in the 8th house, means you can blindly say, okay, it gives a long life. The longevity is really good for them. And one important thing about the Saturn was Saturn always towards the divine, always try to find out the they try to find out who I am, how I am, why the peoples were born, why we have to go through the sufferings. It find out the truth of the life. Always a seeker, the great seeker, try to find out the knowledge, try to find out the knowledge which is hidden from everybody. In single word, Saturn towards the spirituality. So the transformation towards, okay, the different grahas, the transformation was different. Okay, now when it comes into the transformation here means, the transformation here, the Saturn, 8th house is the transformation. Saturn is towards the spirituality. So your spiritual enhancement, the transformation is you are spiritually enhanced. You have a chance to encounter the good gurus. You may have met beautiful people around you to practice along with you. In simple word, you're spiritually enhanced day by day. So that is the grace of the Saturn's energy. Okay, now let's look into the aspect of the Saturn. And now let's have an example with the Kadaka Lagna. Saturn was in the 8th house. Okay, this is the 8th house for the Kadaka Lagna. Yes or no?
Yes.
Kadaka Lagna, 8th house becomes the Kumbha Rasi. Okay, now there is the 3 aspects. One is the 3, 7, and the 10. So the 7th aspect goes to the 2, and the second house. This is second house from the Lagna. So the Saturn 3, 7, and the 10. This 3 goes to the 10th house. 7 goes to the second house. 10 goes to the 5th house. So this is the house number I'm mentioning. This is not the aspect of the number is not aspect of the Saturn. This is the house number. Okay. What is the house number? The Kadaka Lagna, second house. Saturn was aspecting the second house. Saturn was aspecting the 5th house. Saturn was aspecting the 10th house. Is that okay? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. When the Saturn was aspecting the second house, Saturn aspecting the second house means the Jataka may live with the larger family, or he may have the larger family, or they have there is a difference, right? You live in very large family, or you may have the larger family. You are the head of the very large family. This is the highest possible. And fifth aspect. Fifth house means creativity and your first child. And this is also good when the Saturn in the 8th house was aspecting your creativity and the kids means the the auspiciousness energy will be increased, and you have the very good creativity in your life. And the 10th aspect, your work in educational and philanthropic institution. Okay. When the 10th house was respecting, 7th house was respecting the really good. Why? The significance of the Saturn was working there. If any of the graha, it's considered the Saturn was related to the work, Saturn was related to the discipline, Saturn was related to the organized thing. If you are doing that one only, it won't disturb you. Particularly Saturn, if you are doing your work just without any bad intention, you are doing your work to your good and to your best, Saturn won't disturb you. But if you malpractice in your work, the Saturn energy will turn, Saturn's energy need auspicious energy become inauspicious energy. It will give you the different kind of the life for you to taste. So that means if you are organized, if you are disciplined, that means how the Saturn was there. And if you are also behaving, the Saturn won't disturb. Why the peoples are really afraid of the Saturn? Because the Saturn was organized, Saturn was disciplined. This is really not possible for the peoples to live that kind of an organized, that kind of the discipline. But even they can manage to organize, but they can manage to structurally living in their life. But the discipline is the main key thing for the Saturn. It may not be manageable or achieved by the most of the humans. So that's why everybody was suffering. Everybody was feel that, okay, Saturn, the Saturn Dasha was coming, Saturn Buddhi was coming, I'm done. Why? Because the Saturn was expecting that much of discipline in you. For example, if your work was 9 o'clock and you are going 10 o'clock, this is not a discipline. Okay. Your work already starts at 9 and you have to be there at 9 means that is the discipline. So if you miss that kind of the thing in your life, the Saturn will give you the punishment right away. It won't wait you for your next life. It will give you right away. That kind of the Saturn's energy will be there. That's why if you do the work relevant, significant to that kind of the graha's energy, it won't affect. So why everybody was afraid? Because of the Saturn's principles. Come back into the Saturn in the 9th house. Not much comfortable to the Saturn. Anybody remember what is the 9th house? 9th house means?
Father, Guru.
Fortune, Bhagyasthana.
Bhagyasthana. Yeah. Anything?
Even travel, right? 9th house.
Karma sthana.
Yes, yes.
Karma.
Your father, fortune, traditions.
All kind of the traditions. If you practice any religious activity, any kind of the puja, if you are going to visit a temple, that is the 9th house.
Higher education.
Higher education, yes. 9th house. Religion, any ethics you follow, religion, cultural, tradition, form, 9th house. Father Guru's 9th house.
And
Okay.
residence, I mean, country of residence or something like that, change of
9th house? I don't remember.
going overseas, rather.
Like long distance travel.
Long travel.
Long distance travel. Yeah. Okay. That kind of the ninth bhava. Now the Saturn energy we already knew it was organized discipline. Okay. We see now the perspective looks like okay, Saturn was really good and he was organized, disciplined and structured. Okay, we have to remember the other side of the coin also. For this, the past world, the Saturn is very, very slow in energy, and even though it was hardworking, it's not matched with the fast-moving world. Okay, you have to remember that. That's why whenever you whenever you see the analysis of the horoscope, that will match with. Because when you remember, okay, Saturn was organized. Saturn was all good things about the Saturn, and if you remember that one point, it won't match. Okay. Okay, these people are really law-oriented. They really follows what is justice, what is not, what is right, what is good. They strictly follow this. Okay. Importantly, these people are very much good and organized. Because the Saturn is such a kind of an energy will give you the skill to make you a good in argument and law pursuits. This is the highest possibility. Okay, this was the general thing. Okay, now come back into the aspect of when the Saturn in the 9th house, this is going to do that. Okay, when the Saturn was sitting in the 9th house means a 9th house is the higher education. It will delay that higher education. You may not pursue that. You may make all arrangements, but end of the day, you may not able to present in that to take that class. Or you may try. You will be available. The course is not available. Some kind of the delay will be there when the Saturn was in the 9th house. Okay, now let's see the aspect of the Saturn. Now the Lagna is the Kanya Lagna. And let's see where the Saturn, this is the 9th house for the Kanya Lagna. So it aspects the 11th house, aspect the 3rd house, aspect the 6th house. So Saturn having the 3 aspects, 3, 7, 10. So with that, it aspects 11, 3, and the 6. Okay. 3 is for your writing. Okay. If you are tended to do writing, the Saturn's energy will help you. If it was spiritually oriented, it help you to the extreme level. Okay. Now the sixth, it's about your work. It's really difficult when the Saturn was aspecting the 6th house means you will success. The success is definitely guarantee for you, but you will encounter a number of failures, a number of difficult situations in your life to achieve that one thing. The moment you achieve that, you may not feel that, oh, I achieved this one, because that kind of a difficult situation you come across, you won't feel that success is the success. That kind of the situation Saturn will give. Okay, 11th house is for the luck, for the gains. The other thing about the Saturn is the slowness and the delayness. It will delay your money flow. It will delay your gains as well. Okay? That is the aspect of the 9th house. So that's why the Saturn in the 9th house is not comfortable house, because it will delay your gain, it delay your education, your success in your work also little bit difficult. Okay. Anybody having the Saturn in the 9th house?
Yes,
My
Nita, I have it, Nina.
my chart, man, Satish.
See both of you. Okay. Saturn in 9th house. Okay, let's see. And okay, in the house. Any graha who is aspecting the Saturn? Anybody?
Guru, 9th aspect.
Awesome. So there was a Guru and a Saturn combination was here. But now the Saturn was sitting in the Saturn's own house. Okay, now let's check with the okay, now let's check with the Satish itself. There's the Mithuna Lagna. Feature retrograde. Okay. Okay. Which one is matching for you? Which one is Satish? Okay. Somebody was also told me that there was a 9,000 Saturn. Who is
Yes,
that?
that's me, Nina, Vinita.
Okay. When Satish was available, we'll check with him. Okay. Which Lagna you are?
I'm Rishabha Lagna.
Rishabha Lagna. Okay.
And Saturn in Capricorn
Makar.
in its own Makar.
Saturn Makara Rasi, right? Right?
Also Ketu.
Along with Ketu.
Ketu, yes.
Okay. Now you tell me what's happening for you.
It matches more or less.
Which
Again,
one is
higher
matching?
education, I don't know. Law abiding matches. Good in argument, yes, very much. Lawsuits, not no law pursuits, but I good in argument. I can take up the matter. Like I would have done law very well. Delay in higher education, not so much because not really. Religious writing. What do we mean by religious writing?
Anything spiritually oriented. See, for example, if somebody was writing a blog about how to do invoke the sunny's energy, and somebody was telling anything relevant to the religious activity, how to
I
this all
used
the
to
steps
be.
you have.
I think I used to be, but there's been a transformation there too. Actually, there's some, so not really now, but yes, I used to do a lot. And success with difficulty, yes, very much too. I have to work very hard for what I get. Even the little bit which I do, I have to work extra hard. And yes, delay in gains also. I get, but after a lot of extra work.
Okay. 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 Let's move on with the 10th house.
Vanita, 1 second. In this slide here, this should be the 3rd house and the 6th house, not the aspect.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah, it's a house. It's a house. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Now Saturn in the 10th house. It's the Upachaya Sthana. Anybody remember what are the Upachaya Sthana?
3, 6, 10, 11.
3, 6, 10, and 11. Okay. Now, when the Saturn was in the Upachaya Sthana, this is the best place for somewhat good. We'll know about that why. Because when the Saturn is always related to work, always related to doing something as the business. Okay. Now, the 10th represents your own business, your professional life, how entirely your career. Okay? Now, that kind of the 10th house, when the Saturn was placed in it, when the Saturn was placed means this takes that person to a greater heights. Okay? They definitely have the solid career. There is a higher possibility. The industrialist, metal, and the mind. These all the things they involved mostly. Okay. Now we will see about the aspects. It's give me a second. My cursor was not here. Now take an example about the Tula Lagna. That Saturn was in the 10th house means it aspects the 12th house, it aspects the 7th house. The number which I mentioned here is the house. Okay. Okay, here again I'm wrong. This is not aspect, it is the house. Okay. Okay. It's having only the 3, 7, and the 10th aspect, but here we are mentioning the house numbers. Don't get confused. I thought to simplify, but end result it was confusing. But remember, these numbers are the house numbers only. This all only the aspects. This is clear, right? Here, this is the 4th house. Okay, this is 7th house. Okay, when the 4th house means they are mostly professional in the home will be looks like a professional. 7th relationship with the partners is really good. When the Saturn, when you see the person, this is the Saturn's energy was significantly having the Saturn's person. If you see the number of the people in front of you, you can easily identify. Okay, this person's energy is significantly Saturn, significantly Mars, significantly Mercury. You encounter n number of situations like that, or you may able to identify peoples like that. You should not judge the people, but for a practice, if you see the person, you can immediately identify this person was a Saturn oriented, the Saturn's energy person, significantly filled with the Saturn's energy. Anybody can encounter that kind of a situation. You can easily identify, okay, this person is a Saturn's energy, and this person is the Mars, and this person is the Guru, this person is the Mercury. Did you try on anybody? Okay, you try and see. There is a significant character and body language difference will be there. If the Saturn's energy was highly in them, they won't take any courageful action. See, if there was a Mars energy person and the Saturn's energy person, the Saturn is a hardworking, but the energy is not vibrant. But when you see the Mars energy person, he may not be the hard worker, but the energy is really vibrant. You can see the difference, but when you see the people. Okay, when seventh house relationship partner and professional partnership is really good, and 12th aspect, they may have the international image. That means they may have the fame around the world. Okay. Altogether, Saturn in the 10th house is really good. Anybody having the Saturn in 10th house? Okay. Okay, 11th and the 12th house we'll see in the next class. We'll quickly go through we'll have few more minutes. We'll quickly go through the last part of the today's class. Analysis of the horoscope. We already go through with the stage 1, going into the reading about the Bhavas. And today is the 8th house, 8th Bhava. Okay. Now, before we read about the 8th house, let's one more time look into the Satish chart. Lagna is the Mithuna Lagna, where the moon and the Jupiter retrograde is posited. And now we are going to see the 8th house, where the Venus was posited. Okay, who is the Venus? Okay, let's see here. Venus is the owner of the 5th house. Venus is also the owner of the 12th house. And that kind of the 5th and 12th house owner was present in the 8th house. Okay. The owner of this house was also owner of the 9th house. Okay. This much clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see about the 8th house. Who's the Lord here? Who's the Lord of the 8th house for Satish Jatakam?
Saturn.
Saturn is the Lord, right? Okay. Now let's see about what the 8th house will do. 8th house will tell you about your accidents. 8th house will tell you about the death and the longevity. If there was any sudden luck, any insurance related stuff, and kind of a chronic disease. What is the difference between the disease which is coming in the 8th house and 6th house? 6th house is the curable disease. The 8th house disease will be, you may not curable, it will be continuing for your lifelong. And any kind of the fraud or kind of that kind of related activities or you suffered or you encounter, that will be reflected in the 8th house. Sudden losses, that is also 8th house. Okay, now this 8th house is mainly for the hidden treasure, hidden knowledge, astrology, tantric practice, magic, and the occult science. Okay, this is all about the 8th house. Okay, now when you see about the Venus, whose Venus was in the 8th house. Now, when we see about the Venus, we have to see the ownership of the Venus as well. So he is the owner of the Virayadipati. So Venus is the Virayadipati here. Okay, when the Virayadipati was in the 8th house means, it may bring this sudden luck. It may bring the sudden money to the insurance, to any kind of you may not expect. You may not expect that the money will flow to you. It may be come from any sources. It may be come from the share market. The money can come from different sources, but it come immediately. The sudden money, sudden luck may come. And you may have the questions, how come the the Venus was in the 8th house will bring that kind of the luck? Okay. When the Venus was sitting in the Saturn's house. Okay. When the Venus was sitting in a Saturn's house means the Saturn and the Venus was friendly in nature. It won't disturb you. Mostly, if the people who are in the Mithuna Lagna, Kanya Lagna, Tula Lagna, who's this? Vrishaba Lagna, Makara and the Tumba, the Saturn won't give any, when the Venus was in the 8th house means this kind of the Lagna, they won't get disturbed. Instead, they will get a benefit. And there are the n number of the bad things in the 8th house, but these people will get the good one. Okay, then you will have one more question. How come that is possible? Because now Satish is also having the Venus Dasha, Venus Buddhi. I forgot the answer. Okay, here the crux is about the Dasha and the Buddhi. So when Vrayadipati Dasha was happening, Vrayadipati has also Buddhinathan means that exactly will happen. Okay. Anybody remember what is the, then you may have the questions. What is the Vray? Vray means a kind of an expense you will do in your life. In that particular amount of the time. Okay. Anybody remember what is the Venus Dasha period? We discussed that earlier or no? No?
Yes.
How many years?
20 years.
20 years. Now the Venus Dasha was started in the 25 years, 2025 and it will end in the 2045. Okay. And it's among these 20 years, the Venus impact is really high. Then what kind of the expenses he will do? The significance of the Venus will expenses will be the expenses mostly relevant with the Venus significance. It can be the dress, it can be kind of any luxuries item, it can be from anything or decorating, but it's definitely involved the word luxury or anything you want to beautify the thing. But your expenses will be spending on this. You may spend expenses for your woman, for your girl child, or you may buy something luxury for them, or the money will be spent like that. Okay. And what is the caution he have to take care? Before spending anything, take care of that, or you're spending it's worthwhile or it is necessary. So keep that in mind check all the time. You may overcome any kind of the difficulties in this Dasha period. But when Venus was sitting in the, now the Venus Dasha was happening means mostly if you pray to the Mahalakshmi, the two you highly decorated the Mahalakshmi. When Venus goddess is always fully decorated. That too Mahalakshmi means the Venus energy will be invoked immediately. When you pray, when you put the photo Mahalakshmi in front of you and lit the lamp and put the jasmine flowers in front of it, the Mahalakshmi energy will become the moment you strongly invoke. Okay, this is the best time. This is the very, very best time when you invoke that kind of an energy. If there wasn't any obstacles in your life, if you may understood by the intuition itself, okay, this is kind of a thing, a bad thing may occur, bad luck may occur. You had a tendency to avoid it, or it may come scratch to you. You will overcome that easily. Okay. That's all about today. Any questions? Okay, that's good. Awesome. We'll see you all next week then.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thank you.
ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anita.
Anita.